Well, the backstop is slightly complicated because it's a very complicated situation. Essentially, what it does is it means that if the UK and EU can't come to a future relationship once the UK has left that is reasonably close, then it keeps the UK in the customs union, in the EU customs union, and it keeps Northern Ireland specifically aligned with EU rules on some goods. And what that does is avoid any checks, any border infrastructure such as inspection posts between Northern Ireland and the Republic, and that's the underlying reasoning and purpose behind the backstop, is to avoid any checks between the North and the South because of the history of conflict in Northern Ireland and the wish to keep that border as open as possible.
Your research suggests that the backstop will remain in that withdrawal agreement or will remain part of a deal should there be one between the UK and the EU. But what sort of conclusions do you reach in respect of how much it might change?
We do conclude that if there's to be an agreement, the backstop will have to be in there. But what we did is went back and looked at previous negotiations that the EU has done on things like the Maastricht Treaty, which was kind of the forming treaty for the EU, and then the Lisbon Treaty, which was a later change, and then also the trade agreement that the EU signed with Canada. And one thing we realised was that, yes, the EU does make changes to get these things agreed at the last minute, but it doesn't usually change the text that's already been agreed. So what's already in the withdrawal agreement most likely will remain as it is, but there may be an opportunity to sort of add things onto the end of it to try and assuage some of the concerns of people who think it might be an indefinite arrangement, because lots of people, their issue with the backstop is in some ways not necessarily the content of it, what it means, it's the fact that it might be indefinite and there's no way for the UK to actually get out of it if it wants to. That's the issue.
Given that everything's moving so quickly, I'm sure that you have to plan and execute that plan quite rapidly. So what's next for you?
Well, I think, much like the government, we're sort of, in some ways, working day to day, responding to events. We've suggested that there may be a way to sort of break the impasse in Parliament, and one of the things that it might be possible to do is to have two separate votes in the UK, one on the withdrawal agreement, which is the actual treaty that takes the UK out of the EU, and then a separate vote on the political declaration, which is about the future relationship between the UK and the EU, because at the minute MPs are conflating both, and they're rejecting both because they have an issue with one or the other. So we think by separating the two into different votes, you may be able to get the withdrawal agreement through and then isolate the particular issues with the political declaration and then give the government a chance to address those. And that may be a way to break the impasse.